evening, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and start the meeting this evening. So I would like to call to order the regular City Council meeting of Tuesday, August 18th, 2020 at 7:02 p.m. And I will start out by giving the invocation for this evening. Dear God, thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. We pray for your guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would direct us into making the best decisions for all of Eastpointe. It is in your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if I can get roll call, please.
All right. Mayor Owens is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Here.
Councilperson Baker.
Here.
Councilperson Curley.
Here.
Councilperson DeMonico.
Here.
And then moving on to item 2, approval of the agenda. Can I get a
So
motion?
moved. So moved.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico.
Yes.
Councilperson Baker.
Yes.
Councilperson Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes. And then moving on to the hearing of the public, if anyone wishes to be heard, if you could just raise your hand or put something in the chat box.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Gary would like to speak. Gary, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. The floor is now yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, members of council, members of city. I'm here tonight to just remind you and the community that we will be having the ribbon cutting for Getz Park this Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. We are quite excited about the way the park turned out. It's beautiful. Again, the residents in the neighborhood are anxious to see it and be able to utilize it. The park is located at 14700 Birchwood, which is just west of Gratiot, and it's really between Lincoln and Veronica. And we've invited a number of people there. We're hoping to have a really, really good turnout from the community in the area. Flyers were sent out to all of residents in the area, and we're just very pleased with the way the park turned out, and I hope to see all of you there Thursday night. And by the way, I'm Gary Sasek, and I live at 23796 Roxana Avenue, Eastpointe, Michigan. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard?
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, I see no one else commenting in the chat box, and no one else is currently raising their hand. So I believe it's now safe to close the floor.
Okay, we'll close the hearing of the public and move on. Hold on.
I saw.
You know what? Alyssa just popped up.
A thumbs up.
We'll go back to the hearing of the public.
I can't find thumbs up, or I could only find thumbs up, not raise hand. So, so I'm Alyssa Diebold. I'm the chair of the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission. If any of you were on Facebook today, you maybe saw that we released a press release in conjunction with the city and the Detroit Institute of Arts about the Partners in Public Art project. That is the DIA mural on the side of Eastpointe Community Credit Union. So the artist is there periodically. The mural is scheduled to be done mid-October. So there will be an unveiling closer to then, but if you're ever near there and want to talk to Wendy Popko, who's a Macomb County artist, you know, we're all really excited about the project and hope that the community is too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, Mandy has commented in the chat that she never received a flyer for park, just FYI. Mandy, if you'd like the opportunity to speak, now would be your time.
Hi, I'm just letting you know that I didn't receive a flyer, and I haven't heard of anyone that received them. Maybe they haven't got through the mail yet or not. I'm not sure. But it was just an FYI to the council.
Thank you, Mandy. We'll address that in their comments at the end.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard?
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, I see no other comments in the chat, and there are no other hands raised at this time.
Okay, then we'll close the hearing of the public and move on to the approval of minutes for the meeting of August 11th, 2020.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I motion that we approve the minutes of the August 11 regular meeting.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilperson Baker,
Yes.
Councilperson Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes. And we have no scheduled hearings, so we'll move on to unfinished business. If I can get a motion for the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 1200.
Madam Pro Tem? Madam Pro Tem?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah? Can you hear me?
You're calling on me? I didn't know.
No, I said if I can just get a motion.
Sure, I'll be good. I would, I would move to give the second reading and to adopt ordinance number 1200, which would amend chapter 50 zoning article 4, administration and enforcement section 50-30, penalty equitable remedies.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson Curley,
Yes?
Councilperson Baker,
Yes.
Councilperson DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes. Moving on to reports from administration, and we'll start with Ms. Doom.
Thank you. Some of you may have noticed I was on the phone. That was the mayor calling. She regrets that she cannot join us this evening, but she is out of town. And as we've discovered, she often has some difficulty getting through and breaks up. So she sent her thank you to Sarah for chairing the meeting tonight. I'd also like to share with all of you and the public that this coming Thursday, the 20th, from 5 to 7 p.m., we'll have a drive-up census event for folks who haven't yet filled out the census. Please join us. We'll have a special thanks, a gift card for everyone who comes and fills that out. You'll see us set up and follow the signs, and we'll be there for you. We are trying to get our census numbers up. As Sarah will attest, and she may even speak to it, we also were on a PACE meeting this morning, and there was a lively discussion about what filling out the census does for a community. And Sarah, shall I leave this to you to give a little more detail on this when you give your report?
No, go ahead. You can. I have
Okay. Well, one of the things we talked about is that for a community, for every person who does not fill out the census, who lives in their community, you're leaving about $1,800 on the table for each and every person. And that's a lot of money when it comes to having money for your senior programs, your schools, your highways, just making government run. We anticipate and we expect those federal dollars. So it is very important that everyone's counted. And one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is that if you are not an American citizen, or if you are an immigrant, or you have your green card, you cannot be counted. That's not true. You can be counted. They're not looking at immigration. They're not looking at your citizenship. They'd like to know where you live at that particular moment so that they can count you in the total. And then that brings federal dollars back to our community. So you'll be seeing a lot of people out and about in our community and in every community trying to gather up the census numbers, get the percentages. And a really interesting thing that was brought up today is, and I really hadn't given much thought to this, but it makes perfect sense, is that to notify the Census Bureau if there are homes that existed in 2010 that no longer exist today. If they've been torn down, they're still considered part of the census count, and anyone who may have lived in there. So we're going to go back to the drawing board on our end take a look at the homes that we had standing in 2010, what we may have torn down, and we're going to incorporate that. That certainly brings the numbers up. So the census is very important to all of us. So that's why we're having, the city is sponsoring in conjunction with the county, a drive-up census event Thursday, 5 to 7, Kennedy Park. You'll see us sitting out there. Also, I had a managers meeting, managers of Macomb County, and our guest speaker was our deputy executive, Vicki Wolber. And you could tell she was disappointed, as we are too, that despite a lot of our efforts, COVID is on the rise. And that's a real disappointment to us. And we talked in detail about why that might be. And summertime is here. People are letting down their guard. They're having parties, graduation, family parties, weddings. And there's a concern that we've kind of gotten a bit relaxed. And so now it's time for us to pretty much buckle down again and really pay close attention to sanitizing, wearing masks, and trying to, keep COVID down. So just before this meeting started, I did take a look at our statistics. As of today, Eastpointe has 535 cases of COVID, and unfortunately 32 people have lost their lives. So it's certainly not anything to take too lightly. But that's what I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Doom. We can move on to our finance director, Mr. Blum.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. The only thing I had was last week there was a Treasury webinar. They gave an update on the various CARES monies that are out there. They really didn't tell us anything new other than part of it will be showing up towards the end of August, and the other part will be in the middle of September. And then there's another chunk that they're still working on, let's just say specifics on how to actually apply for it. So at least part of it is moving. We're hoping we'll get most of our request. The one big item, there was $200 million allocated by the state of Michigan for public safety costs. As of last Wednesday, over 600 communities had applied, and they were nearing the 200 million mark. If the request exceed 200 million, then they will prorate the allocations. But we're hoping that we'll get the vast majority of what was requested. And that's really all I have this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Blum. And we'll move on to our city attorney, Mr. Albright.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Lucido. Just one item for the council. I previously sent an email earlier today regarding my contact with the plaintiff's attorney in relation to the city's ordinance which regulates the storage of firearms in unlocked vehicles. As the council is aware and the public is aware, the city passed an ordinance last year prohibiting and regulating the storage of firearms in unlocked motor vehicles. After that ordinance was passed, two parties filed an action in the Macomb County Circuit Court challenging the constitutionality of that ordinance. Our office filed a motion for summary disposition on behalf of the city, arguing that not only was the ordinance necessary, but it was certainly constitutional. The judge agreed with that decision, and although the plaintiff's attorney had indicated to me prior that he intended on filing an appeal with the Court of Appeals, I did confirm here today, even though the time for filing the appeal has long passed, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to file anything and argue that he should be entitled to file some type of late appeal. I did confirm with him today that he is not going to be filing a late appeal or taking any further action. And so that is essentially the end of the matter. We will be closing our file this week. And so the gun storage ordinance, which was passed by the City Council last week, has been challenged, and it has been affirmed that it is constitutional. I also circulated an email to Director Rohib indicating that the officers, if they see a violation of the city's ordinance, that there are no legal impediments to them issuing the citation. And Mayor Pro Tem Lucio, that's all I have. I'm certainly happy to answer any questions the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Albright. Does anyone have any questions?
None for me.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then we'll move on to item 8, new business. A, approval of third-party general liability insurance.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna ask for a motion. So
Oh, okay. I got you. I'll motion to award the bid and authorize the execution of an agreement with the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority to administer and provide excess liability insurance coverage for the city self-insured program for the period of July 2020 through, well, I guess, July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021, and authorize the city's necessary contribution to its loss fund with the total cost of services, insurance, and contributions to be $572,170.
I'll support that.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilperson Baker,
Yes.
Councilperson Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes. Moving on to the bid award for the automatic water reading system. And I believe we have Director Abrams on, and he may want to speak to this. Director Abrams?
You're muted, Mr. Abraham. Mr. Abraham, you're muted.
Good evening, Madam Pro Tem, Mayor Pro Tem, and respected council. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Councilman Cardi.
No problem.
The contract before you today is to purchase an automatic water meter reading system consisting of a register and a meter transmission unit. These two components are electronic components that are called automatic water meter reading system. We have 13,500 accounts or residents and businesses in the city whom we provide this water service, and then they have this automatic water meter reading system since 2006. The current system is 14 years old and it has several problems. It was warranted for a period of 10 years. And then in the last 4 years, we have replaced 1,208 transmission units and 500 registers. These are electronic units. Why it fails means any unit, any electronic unit, after a period of time, it loses power, it loses battery power, and then once it loses the battery power, it doesn't function. As simple as that, just like any other electronic unit. So we are lucky that at least other than this 1,200 plus units that are working now, it was warranted, as I said, only for a period of 10 years. So the other units are still functioning, but it has several problems associated with that. There are a couple of reasons why we are proposing to replace the existing system and then upgrade and then replace the system. One reason is that once the MTU or the meter transmission unit fails, we don't get a reading. And then we end up in sending an estimated bill. And then later on, once we catch us up and then get the actual reading, it could be a much higher bill. So the residents are not happy about that. Secondly, we are paying a much higher price when we purchase the units on an as-needed basis. For example, we are paying approximately $110 for a meter transmission unit and $65 for a register. Whereas the contract that is before you, they have offered a meter transmission unit at $85 and then a register for $55. So that is $35 below what we are paying now for a transmission unit and $10 below for a register. that by itself save over $400,000 to the city, over 400,000. Now, though we have only replaced 1,200 plus units in the last 4 years, it is simply a matter of time. We will end up in replacing these units today or tomorrow. That is given, that is guaranteed. And the problems are, if we replace this on an yearly basis, let's say 1,000 units or 500 units or 2,000 units on an as-needed basis, it is considered as a revenue expenditure or a nominal expenditure. And then that increases or that can impact the water rate because it is considered as an expenditure. So any expenditure in the water fund impacts the water rate. Whereas a mass replacement like this, what we are proposing now, will be funded from the capital fund. And therefore, it doesn't impact the water rate. And then the other benefits of this new system is that the current system is not tamper-proof. That means somebody who is crooked or savvy enough, tech savvy enough, they can remove the register easily. And then, or I was told that it can be removed easily. And then any water go through the meter during that period when the register is removed, they don't get billed. And so that was one of the influencing factor why we have decided to go with a new system. The new system will provide a sealed tamper-proof wire. And then sooner somebody attempts to remove the register, first of all, it is very difficult. Secondly, if at all somebody cut the wire, it sends us a signal, or the system registers an event that somebody tried to tamper the system. And then we can isolate that case and then go to the resident and then give them the fines or penalties or shut the water off, whatever may be the case. So that is a heavy deterrent for water stealing. And then we receive several complaints. The council also must have heard or seen several complaints from the residents that they got a higher bill and then we never told them that one. And then they are impacted by the higher bill because the previous bill was estimated or they did not detect the water leaking. Now, the new system, it provides several advantages. One is that it has this tamper-proof system with a sealed wire. Then the residents can get an app in their phone or laptop or iPad or wherever they want. They get an app in their phone or in the system that can tell them whether there is any zero consumption. That means if there was no usage of water, it will give them an indication or a ping. Then leak detection. That means if there is a leak in their water system or a faucet, which is a terrible reason for heavy water bill, if there is any water leakage in the system, it will give them a notice. And then any abnormal usage, that means it could be due to somebody stealing their water or the water leaking through the system. So if there is any abnormal usage, that gives them a notice. They can budget their usage. And then they can compare their usage between last year, last month, or 6 months, whatever. And then it can reduce the vast number of customer complaints. And then also the customers get a real-time analysis of their usage. So this is a great system for our residents. As I said, it comes with several advantages. That means the number of complaints can be reduced. The citizens know if there is any leak, they don't end up in paying a heavy water bill. And then we don't get as many calls as we are getting, or it will be drastically reduced. And then we are getting a system which would be kind of tamper-proof. And then this will be a cloud-based system. That means we don't have to purchase a server. We don't have to have someone to manage the data. And then the system reads the meter every 15 minutes, whereas the current system, it reads only twice per day. Whereas this new system, it reads the meter every 15 minutes and send the data to the server every 4 hours. So we get precise, accurate data. And then, as I said earlier, it saves us considerable amount of money, and then we can bill the residents accurately, timely, and precisely. So these are the reasons why we felt it was high time to proceed with installing a new system. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Council.
Abraham. I did have a quick question for you.
Sure.
So there's going to be a charge of $108,000 per year for the new system, correct?
Yes.
Does that, now I noticed you mentioned that the price of the units was going to be less with the new system. So that $108,000 doesn't cover any replacements if one does break.
It warranties, it is a long answer, ma'am. Let me give you the whole answer. The answer is the 108,540 is the annual maintenance fee, which includes hosting the server. That means this will be a cloud-based system, and we don't have to purchase a server. They will maintain the system. They will provide all the upgrades necessary for the system. And this equates to 67 cents a month. And then it can be added as a technology fee to the water bill. That's what many other municipalities are doing for a system, because the residents can get an app in their phone, and it comes with so many advantages as I described earlier. So yes, 67 cents per month on an account is a very nominal charge considering the benefit it brings. And the answer to your second question with respect to the warranty or the replacement, they warranty the system for 10 years, no question asked, 100% replacement. And from years 11 through 20 and a half, they give us a pro rata warranty. So it comes with warranty.
My second question is, the system that we have right now, is it still under the partial warranty from when we originally purchased it 14 years ago?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it comes with a pro rata warranty. So the warranty is good for the remaining 6 more years. But since it is already 14 years old, we get only very negligible credit.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Abraham?
I just have one general statement, maybe not more of a question for Mr. Abraham. But so to replace all these, we would need to go inside of every property in the city, and we have a pandemic going on. My suggestion is just at least that we do this project for sure after the pandemic. I don't think it's worth the potential health issues doing it now, since we'd have to go inside every house. I mean, personally, I haven't even had my parents in my house since the pandemic started, and I don't want to ask residents to potentially do something like this, especially if their meter's working. You know, if meters break throughout the year, as you know has happened, like you've said, Mr. Abraham, then you know we can fix those, or at least work with those residents on this. But that would just be my biggest concern, in addition to what Madam Mayor Pro Tem said.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, can I comment on that one briefly?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. The consultant with whom, if the council approves this contract, said that they can install 60 units a day. That means it takes probably 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it will be only 30 minutes, depending upon where these MDUs and the registers are. Now, they said they can complete the installation easily in 1 year. So considering the concern you raised, Councilman, we are extending the expiration of the contract to 1.5 years. Hopefully within the next few months, this pandemic will be over, and then we will be back to normal. That's why we are increasing. Though we can implement the system well within a year, we are extending it to a year and a half so that it will provide considerable amount of time. And then one more quick thing is that you may remember we awarded a contract to replace the lead service line on Ronald Street along with the water main replacement. Some of the residents were initially concerned. To your surprise, out of the 48 residents who have lead service lines, 39 already gave us an updated consent form, gladly allowing us to, or the contractors to enter their house and then replace, subject to the safety protocol. So if at all we have to enter the house, the one or two people, usually only one person enter the house, and then they will maintain all the safety protocol.
Thank you.
Madam
I did have, yeah, Mr. Curley.
Go ahead, ask it. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I just had a couple of things because I did some math today. And it looks like over the last 4 years, we have spent a total of approximately $171,405 replacing these MTUs and the registers. And we also lost some money in unbilled water because of them breaking. So approximately $171,405. And we're not paying a yearly fee right now. Now they're proposing that we pay a fee of $108,000 per year. That 171 was over 4 years. I can't justify right now replacing a system when it's going to cost us more yearly to run the new system than what we're paying to replace broken units on the system that we have. So until we reach that point, we're replacing that many meters that we're going over that 108,000 that we're going to be paying per year. I can't justify, me personally, I wouldn't be able to justify spending the almost $3 million to replace it when we could use that money towards replacing more lead service lines or, you know, something along that lines. Mr. Curley?
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me. I am really concerned, and Mr. DeMonico brought it up, and I concur with him. I'm really concerned about the virus still going on, and I don't think it's going to be over in a couple of months. I think this thing is going to be with us for a very long time, past this year for sure. I just can't. I think as a council we have a responsibility not only to do the business of the city, but we have a responsibility for the health and welfare of our citizens. And I guess if I had somebody come up and knock on my door that had a mask on and said, I want to install a meter, there's no doubt in my mind that I would not let that he or she in. We have thousands of homes. We've already lost 32 of our beloved citizens with 535 cases so far. And by all the figuring that if you listen to the right people who know what they're talking about, this virus is going to last us till the end of, well past the end of the year. So I don't know how you get around. I don't know how you get around that, Mr. Abram, for the safety of the people. And I don't know how long these prices are good for. If we didn't take any action tonight, how long would those prices stay the way they are tonight? I mean, I don't know if you can answer that question. That's just a simple 90 days, or would those prices be good for a year?
Councilman, as I said, when they submitted the proposal, they warranted or guaranteed the price for 90 days. Now, we can, as I said earlier, we can extend the expiration of the contract to a year and a half or two. So hopefully by that time, we'll be back to normal and then we can implement the system. And then answer to Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I'm sorry. Regarding the maintenance fee, we are paying $21,000 a year now, or we will be paying, I'm sorry. Shortly, they are going to upgrade their server, and then we will be paying $21,000 plus every year from within the next few months per year to the existing system, though it has so many lacunas in that system. That means it is not user friendly. As I initially said, it has so much of problem, even then we will end up in paying $21,000 plus per year for the maintenance. So it is not free.
Madam, I would just add one more thing that as well as the Mayor Pro Tem, I'm also concerned about the $108,000 annual fee.
Mr. Abraham, can you clarify so right now we pay $0 per year, right? Because we manage all the infrastructure for gathering the monthly readings. But you said soon we're going to be paying, $20-something thousand per year with
Yes.
that same vendor. What can you explain that a little further?
Yeah, they are going to upgrade their system a little more compared to what we are getting now. That means the reporting, they are going to enhance the reporting system, and then it will be a cloud-based system too. So because of those two reasons, they are increasing the fee. Now we are paying around 8,000. If my memory serves, Councilman, I could be wrong, but I believe we are paying somewhere around $8,000 now per year.
That's for, well, so is it's not in the cloud right now then, right? We just do all the readings come back to a server at City Hall? Is that how it works right now? Or,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But we still pay a maintenance fee with them, just what, general
General
troubleshooting?
maintenance and support, yes.
Okay.
There's also telecommunication costs because this runs over the cell phone network where the new system will not. So there's additional, I can't quantify it right here, but there is additional cost with this Aclara system.
Okay.
Can I get a motion?
Mr. Baker, do you have any comments or anything? You've been quiet on this one.
Yeah, well, you guys pretty much raised the concerns with this pandemic. That's like my biggest concern, and that's the question that I had, but it was already asked. So, and he said it's warranted for 90 days. I mean, I would probably even feel more comfortable, even though over the next few months, I don't think this whole thing will be gone away, but at least we can kind of observe what the numbers are doing with this pandemic. And, let's just say miraculously that the numbers drop drastically, the number of cases and deaths. Then we may be able to make a more informed, more beneficial decision. But as of right now, yeah, people are concerned about the coronavirus, and rightly so. And I know if my parents lived here in the city, it'd be a concern for me as well because of their age and possibly even health concerns. So that was kind of big to me. And I understand this is something that needs to be done, but you can't put a price tag on somebody's health and somebody's peace of mind.
Mayor Pro Tem, one more thing. As I said, instead of having the contract to expire within a year, and that means though they can install the whole system within a year or within probably 8-9 months, we can extend the period to 1.5 years, or I can talk to the consultant and then probably increase it to 2 years. They will be happy to do so. And then we will send notices to each and every resident, and only those residents who are comfortable with our safety protocol will allow us to enter. We are not going to force anyone to allow our contractor personnel to enter their house to install. So just like I said earlier, for the Donald Avenue water main replacement, so many out of 48 people, 39 people already gave us the new permit and the consent form to enter their house to install the to replace the lead water service lines. So similarly, and replacing the lead service water takes 3 to 4 hours, whereas this could be half an hour to 1 hour at the most, and only one person will enter. And then Only if the resident allow the personnel to enter, then only they will enter, and then we will maintain all the protocol. So with that, I believe we have nothing much to worry. That is my opinion, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Curley?
Yes, thank you. I would assume, Madam Pro Tem, that you had asked for a motion. I would assume that if you don't get a motion, the item dies for lack of support. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Thank you.
And can I just comment one more thing? It's about one of the concerns about the current system, and I'm not sure if we've discussed it in a council meeting before, but the customers that the transmitter is dying, where you're getting a 0 units read multiple months in a row, I think we could work with either Aclara or BSNA. We should be able to, from that data, I don't know if we already do something like this, be able to notice, say someone gets 2 0 reads in a row, we should be able to keep a list at least and follow up with these residents. Obviously, if the place is vacant, that's not a place we're going to be concerned about. But other households, we should be able to do something like that to get around that issue for now. Because I mean, I do like a lot of the things for this new system. There are a lot of good features, but I just, you know, as Mr. Curley has said, and Baker and Lucido, I just can't see us going forward during a pandemic on a project like this. I just don't think it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. Yeah, my preference would be that we just look at this after the pandemic's over.
Okay, does anyone have anything else? If not, I guess we'll move ahead to payroll and bills.
Here, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I'll motion that we pay the bills in the amount of $2,337,603.02.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilperson DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilperson Curley,
Yes.
Councilperson Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes. And with that, we'll move on to the second hearing of the public. If anyone wishes to speak, please raise your hand or comment in the chat box that you are interested in speaking.
Madam Mayor, or Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, Gary's hand is still raised. I'm not sure if it's raised from last time or not. Gary, did you wish to speak now?
It's raised from last time. I'm sorry. I thought I lowered it.
It's all right.
Hand is raised. My hand is raised. I don't know what you want.
All right. The floor is yours.
Hello.
Who? You didn't say a name. Ms. Richardson?
Addie Richardson, yes, please.
Okay. I live on Stricker, and I'm the one that always called about them messing up my yard. And I got their love letter, and they're blaming it again on somebody else. And I had that appraised, and it would take anywhere from $400 to $700 just to place some dirt. That's not labor. And I want to know, how do you guys expect to get somebody that comes in and tear up people's property, and you don't want to help or to get it done? And I have a letter, and it stated that and then it said at the end, the subject property was not enrolled in a service line assistance program, SLAP, and as such, what and who is SLAP? Because no one even mentioned that. Now that they're not going to do anything, now they're saying I'm not enrolled in a SLAP program. What is a SLAP program? No one told me about it. And no one told me about someone coming in my backyard. And now thank goodness you're going to fix our street. And I pray nobody comes up here, the contractors or whoever you get, come and mess up our property, because I know now that you guys don't care. But you'll walk around and try to give somebody a ticket for the job, and the work's not done, the yard's not done, but you're tearing it up. And I don't appreciate that at all. And I'm going to get a lawyer and see about this Drama 3 LLC, Anytime Plumbing. You guys don't want to do anything. And what am I supposed to do? Take this out of my taxes to get my yard fixed back up? Just a question.
Mrs.
Two of them I asked. What is SLAP? I don't even know what that is.
Mrs. Richardson, we can't answer you right now, but we'll answer you when we have our turn to speak during our council comments.
I appreciate it, because this is not going to last. This is not going to work for me. I mean, constantly, it's not going to work for me. A letter.
Ms. Richardson, have you gave your information and complaint to our city manager, Ms. Doom?
I have called. They know my name. I spoke with the last meeting you guys had. I was on, and it was the JJ whatever. They came out after the mayor said that if I didn't hear anything, let them know. They came right out, and because they've been to my house before, they said, "Didn't we come to your house?" Yes. Is that the yard where you can't walk? Yes. Well, I'm gonna go back and we're going to discuss it and get back with you. And this is what I get, a letter that was dated August the 3rd.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Richardson. We'll look.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to be heard?
Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds here just so I don't tell you you can close the floor before everyone comments. Well, Mayor Pro Tem Lucido, I see no hands raised and there are no other comments in the chat box.
Okay, so we'll move ahead with council reports, and we will start this evening with Mr. Curley.
Oh, thank you, Madam Pro. I have a few. First of all, it was mentioned a couple times. Thursday at 6:30 at Guest Park, we'll have the ribbon cutting ceremony. And if you haven't driven by there yet, it's incredible. It is awesome. I don't know how many words I could use, but it is fantastic. And you know, we talk about a lot of things at the council and we vote on a lot of things, but I got to tell you, I am so happy that we have another park for our kids. And we have a lot of kids in our community. And the ribbon cutting is going to be fun. And I hope there's a ton of kids over there playing on the things that we got there and not paying attention to the adults. You know, we're going to stand up there, we're going to slap ourselves on the back, and we're going to congratulate each other. We can't hug, but we're going to congratulate each other. But this is for the kids. Remember that. So when you come out there, pay attention to the kids. You don't have to pay attention to the council people or the mayor. Just pay attention to the kids. So I'm really happy about that. The coronavirus, wow, my heart aches. I pray every day for the folks that have it now, that they would recover. 32 people from our community have passed away, 535 cases. You know, I've been here for 56 years, and I don't know who those 32 people are, but I'm going to guess that I probably knew some of them, and I wished I would have been able to find a way to find out who passed away. And unfortunately, I'm going to lose myself here. Unfortunately, they passed away in a hospital bed without their husband or wife or kids. They died alone. So we need to remember all of those in prayers, folks. We really need to do that. One of the biggest concerns, and I think the council people will agree with me, are the water bills, right? Raise your hand. The water bills? Yes? Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And thank you, Rob. Thank you, Cardi. I think it would be great not on Zoom, because you can't see anything on Zoom, but when we finally get back to City Hall, and Elke, you can take a note down, I would love to have somebody stand up there with charts and all on the screen and go step by step for the folks so they can understand. And Cardi, thank you, by the way, for putting that on Facebook. Cardi took the time. He took the time to put that on Facebook. He didn't have to do that, but he did, because that's the kind of guy he is. And it would be great if we could have a presentation of how the water bill is decided. Back a month ago, we had somebody that put a copy of the bill on Facebook. I think it was 25 units. 25 units. What is that? About 15,000 gallons of water for that month. I don't know what they did with it. Maybe they filled a swimming pool. Maybe they didn't. But if we at least have a presentation in layman's terms, by the way, layman's terms, so I can understand it, that would be great. And thank you all for coming tonight. Council people, thank you. Sarah, thank you for being in charge tonight. You do a wonderful job anyway. And Mr. Devonico, thank you for putting that on Facebook. And Rob, thank you too. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Curley. And we'll move on with Mr. Baker.
All right. I just want to say thank you to everyone who attended today. And to Ms. Richardson, we'll try to follow up with administration to learn more about what's going on with this situation. And I just want to ask questions so that I have a better understanding of what's going on. And so I will try to do that at my earliest convenience this week. Also to everyone, the Gleaners distribution is this Thursday. This is August 20th at 9:30 a.m. at the high school. This will be the last distribution at the high school. And starting September 1st, we will move back to the middle school for our distributions. It's still doing 2 a month. It's the first Tuesday of the month and the last Thursday of the month, or the fourth Thursday of the month. But this is the last one at the high school. And starting in September, we will be back at the middle school. That is all that I have.
Thank you. And Councilman DeMonico.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. And if I could address, Ms. Richardson, your concerns. First of all, the SLAT program is the sewer line assistance program. It also covers your water line. It's a $4 optional fee that folks can opt into to cover any issues with their water sewer lines that are on their property, but then of course connect to the city system. Of course, they're all underground, and it's really something that you can't maintain. And the city put together probably 8 or 10 years ago so that it could be covered as a sort of insurance, so that if something happened to it, since it's on your property. And according to what I understand from you, is that there was an issue with that pipe, it sounds like, and you've had to hire someone. I'd hope that they've finished the job there that they've done, or I'm not sure what the case is, but I think if Ms. Doom, it sounds like you've talked with Ms. Richardson, if we can just follow up and finish with this issue. Sorry, Ms. Richardson, I can't let you jump in right now since we're doing the reports, but feel free if you'd like to send me more information too, or anyone on council. Our emails are on the city website too. So if you need extra help, hopefully we can get this resolved. And then also just wanted to say, thanks, Mr. Curley, for bringing up. I got to thank my wife, Alyssa, for that beautiful graphic of the water bill. There is quite a bit of it on one little page, and I hope that it just helps people understand what their money is going for. A lot of it just goes to Great Lakes Water Authority or our sewage authority, and then a little bit of it's left to help with our infrastructure in the city. So hopefully that helps people understand it a little better. I even learned a thing as I was putting it together. So I'm sure if you check it out, you'll learn something too. And also want to bring up, so today's exciting. Exactly 100 years ago, Tennessee was the last state, the 36th state to ratify the 19th Amendment so that women could vote. It wasn't certified till 8 days later on August 26th, but still, I think very exciting. It's been 100 years now since the 19th Amendment went through. I think that's great. The county clerk's putting an exciting program together, so visit his website in about a week or so, and they'll be posting some more information about that. And then everyone, as we've talked about today, like when we were talking about the water meter reading system, the automatic water meter reading system, the pandemic's still going on strong. So please do what you can, wear a mask. I've tried to post some information as I can, some resources that are helpful, or just, about wearing a mask. Like, before I've said, and I guess I'd like to just reiterate here, there's two ways to look at wearing a mask. One's that the government's requiring me to wear a mask. It's, tyranny and overreach. Or I think the second and better way is, of course I don't want to wear a mask. Like, I don't, it's uncomfortable for me too when I go out in public, but I also don't want to be the one responsible for someone else getting COVID-19, because there's asymptomatic transmission, and I don't think we quite understand how easy that is. And I don't want to be the one, responsible for passing that on. So I think the most important reason for everyone to wear a mask is so that you're not unknowingly infecting others, and your right to not wear a mask does not outweigh the health and safety of everyone you come into contact with. So please, everyone, wear masks, and hopefully we can get through this pandemic sooner rather than later. And I think that's all I had, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. So I will start. I have a lot of people I would like to take a minute to thank. I would like to thank Ms. Doom for working with Macomb County to set up for the census sites. We had one a couple days ago, and we have another one, like she said, Thursday from 5 to 7 at Kennedy Park for people to come out and fill their census out. You get a gift card if you do so. So that's really nice. Little bonus gift you'll get if you do come out to fill it out, because that is important to us as a city. I'd like to thank the Parks Commission and Mr. Marucci for all of their hard work on making Getz Park happen. There was a lot of planning and a lot of discussions that went into that, and it does look fantastic. And I know there's a lot of kids that are really excited about the grand opening, that are ready to go over there and claim that playground equipment as theirs. So it's really, really nice. And I would like to thank the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission with working with the DIA to make that mural happen on the side of the Eastpointe Community Credit Union. It looks amazing. It adds so much to our DDA. It really adds a lot to the children's garden and making it look really nice. I would also like to thank Nick Sage for coordinating the COVID testing site that took place at Memorial Field. He has been really on top of trying to get COVID testing sites in Eastpointe. This is the second one, and he's already working on having them come back hopefully again in September for a third time, because it is important to get out and get tested. If it's available, you should go out and get tested, because like Mr. DeMonico said, there are asymptomatic carriers, and you may have it and you may not even know you have it, and then you know what to do to protect yourself and your loved ones. And remember, everyone, to mask up. The other thing is too, the community garden, as their produce is starting to come in, so they do have it available. The community garden is located on 9 Mile Road. I suggest you go there and check it out if you want to get some fresh veggies, or even if you have extra vegetables from your garden, you can leave them for other people to take to share if you have more than your family is going to use. And I think that's all I have for this evening. But I would like to thank everyone who joined us, and if I can get a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Lucido.
Yes.
Gary, I love your Aurora Borealis.
That closes the meeting at 8:01, so we did it in under an hour.
All right.
Are you there? Are you just pretending, Gary? Come on.
Thanks, Harvey. It's under virtual backgrounds, you guys.
I love
Great job, Sarah.
Have a great night. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, Sarah. Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night. Good night.
Have a great time, everybody. God bless.